Nice to see you, Lisa.
My name is Lisa. I'm with Tourism Kamloops. I'm the Director of Community Development and Engagement with the Tourism Kamloops team. Almost 9 years now with the organization, which is so fun and always sent really good.
And I think we've probably known each other for 9 years now.
I think so. Yes, it's been an incredible journey.
Well, welcome to Vancouver. Welcome to the BC Tourism Industry Conference. What are you excited to learn about while you're here? Are there any sessions, any topics that
I always love this conference. I think first and foremost, it's such an incredible opportunity to hear everybody's key wins, challenges, opportunities, all the exciting ventures and projects. My world is very much sort of in engagement, community engagement. So I always look forward to topics that we get to those.
Excellent, nice. So let's shift gears and talk about artificial intelligence, because I know you and I have done on this topic.
I am with the tourism AI guy here.
There we are.
Totally.
Yeah. So we've geeked out on this topic a couple times. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your AI journey? Where are you at? How are you feeling? Are you feeling excited about the world with AI? Are you anxious about things? In the sense of where you're at.
It's funny, and I love that you use the word journey because it has been a journey, and I think the journey has only been maybe 18 months to 2 years. I think it's such a short time period of the grand scheme of things. I remember when we were first talking about it a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, and what is this AI thing? How's it going to impact us? And truth be told, in that moment, there was some anxiety for sure. There was, what does this mean? How's it going to impact our world? What are the implications? I know we chatted about some of the policy concerns about using AI and what can we put into AI and what will we get out of AI. And I mean, now looking back, I am so incredibly grateful for what AI has brought to our efficiencies in our office. Our learnings and just all the many tools and ways that we're using it in capacities. And even at home, it's fun as a family. It's a piece of our dinner conversations now. Like my kids are like, can we plug that into GPT and see what we can get out of it? And it's just become a fun conversation piece. I still do have reservations and concerns. Yeah, I'm using the art of writing because we're leaning so much into sort of AI crafting things for us. But, there's no excuses now for grammar errors or for...
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, how you're using AI, what tools you're playing with, kind of give me a sense of where Lisa's for the first school.
Yeah, content writing for sure, strategic planning and visioning, gaining inspiration into various projects and ideas for sure, and just plugging in certain inspiration and seeing what comes out that helps stimulate you and sort of take your brain in different directions of inspiration and ideas, which has been tons of fun. I haven't done a ton in graphics and illustrations in AI, just what maybe the pieces of it here, but I'm curious to see how that continues to evolve and grow. So, probably in the grand scheme of things, it's very surface level, but definitely some increased efficiencies. And it's so fun. I have to tell you this story because this is some of the fun things at home. But I've got 2 boys, as you do as well.
Yeah.
And I've written some of these stories using GPT. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about my 2 boys and their 4 friends and their adventure outside, where we live. And I put their personalities into it. Like we've got the Crash King and we've got the Candy and the Snack Guy, there's Pockets. And it just zeroes in on their personalities. And we've had giggles and laughs as a family about these unique stories that it writes about them and their adventures. So one day we take them on adventures on the ski hill or in our neighborhood, and it's funny how it writes all sorts of depictions about their adventures on it. So it's been really fun.
I love that. Have you ever played with any of the deep research capabilities of ChatGPT or Grok or anything like that?
I think so, but I don't necessarily know. One of the things that we're really working towards is continuing to build and evolve and grow our relationships with local Indigenous band to come into Tishakwala. And I think just as I learn to communicate and embrace language and embrace culture, I think there's some gaps in AI with regards to those varying languages. And I think if I could use it to help me to learn more of the language and engage in more effective and meaningful ways, that would be really cool. And introduce it more into our writing, into our content and all that we're doing, because I know there's a lot of pressure on our language and culture team with the Kamloops to review and to ensure that the content is accurate and reflective of their language. So if there was a way to maybe integrate more using GPT to ensure that those languages are accurate and we're integrating them into the core of our writing. I think that would be a valuable tool to continuing to build and evolve and grow our relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, let's talk about that during the conference. I can help you out with that.
Okay.
Let's switch gears a little bit. And let's just talk about advocacy and policy. So,
Okay.
obviously there's a lot going on in the world right
Oh
now.
boy, is there.
And if I guess maybe why don't you just outline some of the kind of main topics around policy and advocacy that are impacting kind of Kamloops today, and maybe like solutions you might have.
Yeah, boy, is there a real lot going on in our climate right now. I think, as I mentioned before, a key focus for us and for many of our partners, regional communities, is around destination development. And I'm not sure that the policies that we're currently working under in our world MRT funding and as a tourism organization always support the scope of development and building on experience, but building on attraction.
So around that, is that a provincial issue, do you think? Is that sort of like a Taya BC issue, or is that sort of a unique to each individual demo in their circumstance type of situation?
I think both. I think each municipality has various parameters that they have in place. I think as a provincial scale, there's parameters in place, guidelines, whatnot. So I think it is both in the grand scheme of things, and some exciting conversations around it, and that's really cool. And everything's open to how do we evolve this, how do we grow this as destination marketing or management organizations to envelop development into our portfolios in a meaningful way that it's what our partners and our want. And I think from a municipal perspective, it's our MRDT partners that are really sort of deciding is what taxation is in place and what their key priorities are, so that it goes down to a more local scale and what they see the as well.
Are there any other big advocacy issues that are top of mind for you?
I mean, I always think about labor shortages is an ongoing one. One of the big things that has come to fruition in the last couple of years is the changes to post-secondary institutions as far as international student population goes. They put restrictions on the numbers for our post-secondary institutions, and I know that that is leading to some labor shortages supporting our industry as well. So I'll be curious to see if there's going to be any changes in that way and what it looks like. We're so lucky in Kamloops to have Thompson Rivers University, a robust post-secondary institution. And we have such a fantastic population of international students, but we're seeing those numbers decline. Further to that, a lot of the federal and provincial funding are not for employment. Canada summer jobs, possibly other ones are not eligible for the international students as well. So that limits how much support we can get international student base, which is, I think, such a valuable labor pool to lean into.
Totally, yeah. What's interesting about the labor issue, I think, is that artificial intelligence actually part of the solution.
Possible, yeah.
So that's kind of something I'm pushing as a message, because obviously, a lot of people are worried about job loss, but actually there's a lot of industries in Canada where their doors open because there's not enough people. So actually, I think if we can kind of figure out how to solve both challenges all at once, we can positive. That's what I'm looking for in the message. So maybe I'll wrap up with one final question: is any words of encouragement for people to come and visit Kamloops?
Always, I think if folks have not visited Kamloops, or if they've driven through Kamloops, which is often the case as a key city in a major sort of route through a province, I encourage people to get off the highway, come explore our community. We're pretty awesome. A little rough around the edges, a little fun and rustic, and we're always going to present a really awesome, amazing time for people to come and explore and play in our wide open spaces, in our amazing lakes and hoodoos. Our golf is incredible. Our mountain biking is world class, and we're a pretty fun destination. So
Amazing.
come say hi.
I can't wait to come back. Thanks for having.
So I'm Barb Scott. I got in by accident. My partner kind of found it.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about challenges and I guess, are there any policies or anything we'd like to study from an advocacy perspective?
I think there's like a couple of things that we could do better. One the BC government needs to work with the media to get rid of the whole normalizing of the fire season for us, because that's really hurt our industry, especially in the Okanagan region. We also are struggling constantly to get our permitting done for our businesses, just so much red tape. I have some permits in to redevelop and improve my marinas. It's been in process for 5 years. They haven't opened the file. And the woman who's in charge of it has gone on maternity leave twice. And I'm one of 37 applications in the shoe swap.
So let's talk a little bit about your relationship with technology.
Sure.
Yeah. So what is your relationship with technology?
We're acquaintances.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my business, I've actually brought it forward quite a ways from how it used to be marketed, but we're still a long ways from being as forward techy as a lot of accommodators and adventure operators, and that's something I'd like to improve for my business.
So when you think about technology for your business in particular, obviously there's a marketing component, but then there's probably able to add in a sort of customer service component.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about where you see the technology fitting.
Well, I mean, we have to have a waiver system just like the ski hills have. We have to be able to find our boats when they're out on the lake. We have to be able to talk to more than just two members on the boat. We'd like to be able to get our greater message for safety out to all of the people on our ships. We have a lot of sort of timed events in a houseboat vacation that we could add value to. So if there was a storm coming, we could send messages out. If there's a concert out on top of the Shark Shack or the Sea Store, we can send messages out. If there's, different events going on or concerns happening, we like to do things in real time. So there's those opportunities for sure.
Yeah. So let's switch gears and talk about your relationship with artificial intelligence.
Okay.
What have you played around?
It's smarter than me.
Me too. Me too. You're good.
Chat GBT. I always forget
GPT.
GPT. I used it to build a presentation a little while ago. That was my very first experience until my phone updated recently, and decided it knew my emails better than I did. And that's as far as I've gotten as far as AI goes.
And is AI a topic that you're interested in learning more about or doing more with?
I think it's inevitable. I think that we all have to get smarter with it. I know that my guests have a lot of struggles when it comes to just not being familiar with a boat, or our boats are essentially like beautiful floating RVs with a hot tub and a water slide. And I think there's opportunity to use AI to help them learn and teach them how to be better and safer on the boat and how better to take care of it.
I think there's actually an opportunity maybe around boat maintenance as well. If you're able to sort of inventory the state of boat maintenance in terms of your fleet, and then
absolutely. Or training my crew, another way that we could use it.
Actually, that's an interesting point because you're a very seasonal business, obviously. So you have to bring in seasonal staff every year and train new people every year. Is that kind of a big?
It's a very big portion of it, the recruitment. And then, of course, we have like so many safety levels that we need to make sure our teams are well. And then those people, once they learn it, then have to teach our guests on those same protocols in a very short window of time, because you're on vacation. You don't want to spend a lot of time learning about safety and mechanics and repairs.
Yeah. I actually see training a big opportunity, and obviously digitizing. Imagine just paint a picture for you if you don't mind. So imagine you recording yourself like this, talking about all the safety protocols, talking about all your standard operating procedures once.
Yeah.
The last time,
Mm-hmm.
and then capturing that, and then having kind of that as the basis from which you teach people, and then maybe you reinforcing in real life. Do you think that would be an application that would work?
I think that I think we do that to a small part now with a video that we have, but it's stagnant, right? It's not something that we are learning from our guests what their questions are, and I think there's a value in AI having something where they're asking the questions are generated, and then we learn where the core pieces to be explained are. So I think there's a lot of value kind of both ways.
I think there would be,
Yeah.
And then obviously, I'm assuming you have a website and a booking engine.
Yes.
And that's kind of a main technology. I think there's maybe an opportunity there as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we use a hotel-based program, which doesn't exactly fit our needs.
Right. Yeah.
We also have a campground too, so there's another option to kind of teach them about flora and fauna and hiking and biking trails. There's endless amounts of things.
Yeah.
Just takes time and money, right?
Everything takes time and money. So if you can wave a magic wand and solve that be with technology.
Using AI, I think right now the thing that's the most difficult for us is the onloading of waivers. It's a big challenge for us because we only usually have contact with the person who charters plus the two captains, and so the rest of their guests kind of show up whenever and they load onto the boat, and so there's a bit of an honor system there, and I would rather have something that was a little bit more formulated for that.
Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun.
Thanks. Thank you.
Take care.